Happy Tuesday, Earth Day, April 22nd, 2024. Plant a food forest and live free. Yep. Plant a food forest. So I made a whole bunch of copies of stuff. So, hey, Lewis, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, my old diagram for making pathway soil bank and just a general idea of, like right here is it's really strange. There we go. Yeah. Put it up close. Hey, goodbye, Mandy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cheers, Mandy. Good to see you. Yep. Lewis. Talking about Earth Day. Gonna promote it for a little bit and say hello. I'll be doing this a couple more times before the 21st. Yeah, because it's the 22nd. Blistering. Welcome, 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 Blistering. Good to see you, Jamie. Yep. So I'm just going to promote Earth Day a little bit and talk about making soil. Yeah. Yeah. If you have any questions or if you want to say something that you're doing, like for Earth Day or what you're doing every day and treating it like Earth Day, maybe. Mm. Oh, how is everybody doing? You doing okay? Getting lots of love and hugs. So, what's going on? People all saying hello. Look at that. Time is it 10 to 6 on AM. Oh, it's 5:52 AM. You guys are up early. Awesome. Yep. Well, hello, Wide Family Farm. Hope you're doing well, Corky. Good to see you. Just going to talk about what's coming up for Earth Day, Corky. Good morning, Urban Harvest. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There you go. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that for a little bit and go over the layers and stuff and promote Earth Day. So, Urban Harvest here. I've been doing lots of gardening, nice, and seed starting. Yeah, me too. I've got like trays and trays. I've been. This year's garden is going to be way bigger than last year's. Nice. I've actually taken over the neighbors' properties and planting. Awesome. Trying to grow doable the amount of last year. Yeah, only grow what you can look after. Like, don't try to overgrow because then you got too much to look after. And yeah, so that's a big thing, like I have all the soils prepped here. I do notice the odd weed coming through, and they're like little tiny guys like that here and there. And I went, I'm going to let them grow a little bit this year. And then I'm going to put my pathway soil bank or compost, as as on top. And I do layers like that throughout the season. I don't do a lot of weeding, but I did do these rows where the new lawn is, or the new veggie garden that took over the lawn. So I've been hoeing that in between the rows just to keep down any weeds. I want to see what's coming up. But I left a little bit here and there for like bugs to eat. And so that way the bugs are fed, if there is something, because it's not like it's at at the food forest here where I have a lot of biochar and wood ash down there. It's only like the lawn that used to be a lawn is now a veggie patch. Somebody came in. Hey, G, how's it going there? Smoking in G Sharp. Good to see you. Sorry for the typo. It's all good. It's all good. But, excuse me. I just dug up my old diagram. Yeah. And here. Yeah. I have my pamphlets being made and some posters and stuff and a few other things. Yeah. This piece here is like the north side of the property. So that's not really going to like you're going to grow in here, but making this soil is the big thing here. In these, you see it's a little difficult to point to. See, it goes up like that and comes down around and up like that. That's where you're making soil. You're adding everything in layers and layers and layers and layers, you see. And you can do this anywhere and train others to do to add to it, you know. That's the beautiful part. But April 22nd, Earth Day is coming up. And yeah, so there we go. Yeah. And this is how I make soil. I just put everything in there in layers. And if I make a nice big soil bank, I'll gather up for a week or two a bunch of stuff. And that's what I'm doing for Earth Day. I'm saving in extra buckets of kitchen waste, and there's still people that bring it here, but I saw big fuzzy bees while I was in the garden yesterday. It made me so happy. A couple of my students phoned me last night and they want to take some of my bees from here and put them in their food forest. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. I said, you want to capture a queen? I think it's in like July or August or something. And so they're going out and buying bees. I said, you don't need to. I said, just plant some flowers. And I think they have lots of flowers anyway, tons. And they have fruit trees. And they're like, we only seen one bee. And I'm like, well, they're there. Don't worry. They'll be around. But they wanted to come here and capture bees. I'm like, it's too funny. TIEGSY, tapped in, enjoying gardening. So yes, I like that. Good morning. Make it by Mandy. I have so much planted already too. Kale, chard, lettuce, spinach. Nice. All cool weather crops, leeks, and broccoli. Nice. I'm going away for a week in early June, so my oldest is being trained on gardening this year. Most fortunate. Hey, King Poopa. How's it going, buddy? Or that could be Corky, too, using the hubby's account. Yeah. So, yeah. Mandy's saying hello. Hi, tapped. Yep. Hiking. Surprisingly, we have a lot of bees in the desert. Well, yeah, there's in my locale here, there's 460 types of bees. So there's just not honey bees, There's other types of bees too. Some live underground and they're so tiny they fit on the eyelid, like or just above the eye, and it's smaller than a bee's eye. So there's a lot of types of bees. Surprisingly, it's nice to see all the bees in the desert. Yeah, Howie. Hey, Bill. Welcome, Bill. Worcestershire Project. I watch your videos. 6 fresh eggs out of the coop. Get your protein for the day. Tapped in enjoying. So yes, hello, make it by Mandy and King Pooba. Yeah, yeah, they're pretty cool people. And Bill at Wickershire. It just makes me so happy to see bees this early in the year. I know. I go outside and they're like hummingbirds, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then the little birds follow me around and stuff because I put bird seed in the feeder, which is coming to pretty much an end now. You know, I took down my hummingbird feeders. I don't need to put that out with all these blossoms and flowers here. It's just no, no. Let them get their nectar, but and they pollinate too. See, that's the whole idea. They have this little tiny tongue, and it comes out, and I watched them here. It's just so awesome. It's so awesome. Just makes me so. Yep, King Pooba, how's the peas doing? Uh-huh. I like their iridescent green bees we get here. Yeah, those freak me out when you see them. I'm like, what's that? But yeah, they're very cool. Peas are finally starting to pop through. Yeah, I have a row of peas at the new veggie garden that we made from a lawn. There's a row of kale up, a row of radish, garlics, all the onions. And it's like, okay, this stuff's like, it's magic. So, yeah, peas are finally starting to pop through. Good morning, how? Hey, Bayou Sugar Garden. Welcome, 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 Sugar. The Wickershire Project Off Grid. We had sweat bees, okay, when I lived up at the 30-acre co-op. Wow. I'd be cutting hay and my arms and legs would be covered in them. Be careful. Oh, I forgot I planted peas too. Yeah, it's almost bean planting time. The soil's warming up, but the temperature drops way down, hey, at night. And there's a record one coming tonight, apparently. And some of my students, they built a weather station at another food forest, not this one, but at a different one. So that was pretty cool. So they have that together. That was awesome to see. Is that the yard you covered in cardboard and leaves last year? How? Yes, yes, absolutely. That place is just popping. I'm going to do a video today, like just to show. Well, I hope I can. I don't like to go there without the people being there. It's best if the people are there, and that way you have some social interaction. And yeah. Uh, Good morning. Tapped in enjoying gardening. So yes, says to Bayou Sugar Garden. Okay, Bill, the Wickershire Project. I know snap pea are a bit better than English peas for my area. I do plant on loading up. Must be planned, Bill. Up on, oh no, plant on. Oh, okay, field peas next year. I do not trust the heat here. Well, they're a cool weather crop. I mean, but they're nitrogen fixer, Bill. They're very important. Even if they don't grow a pea and they die, they still put a bunch of nitrogen in the soil. So radishes, peas, any legume you want to load up on nitrogen, right? Right? Yeah. I love to see an update on that. Awesome. Yeah, it's really popping over there. I have to get in there and see what's going on. I haven't been there for a little bit, and we had a couple of frosts, so I want to see what happened there too. We're still getting late frost, but not a real deep, heavy frost. It's a light one in certain areas, and it could skip a house and it's on the next house. I'm like, well, that's weird. And then it can be on a car in the driveway here, and it's not on the driveway next to it. And I'm like, what? okay, what's up here? So you try to Freudian slip. Yes, I love to see an update. Yeah, there'll be an update shortly because I'm going live on on Earth Day and have like a couple three videos and a couple three shorts to put up on Earth Day and a live stream. But the live stream is emptying a soil bank that pathway soil bank that I created over the years. But I want an older one because the soil's so nice, right? And I'm just going to put it on top of the weeds throughout the food forest here because there's a little weed popping through here and there, and I'm not really into doing any weeding, so I just keep putting soil on top of the weeds. I'm bad. What can I say? I'm a bit of a lazy gardener. I like to do things short, quick, and efficient and ergonomic. That makes it easy for everyone. Like the past couple days, I've had several different people here for tours. One guy took him through a tour. He needed to know every single tree. Okay, so I told her he wasn't bored at all. He was totally like, yep, yep. And then he wanted to see some some plantings, and so I said, okay, no problem. And so there you go. Hey, Barry. Good morning. Storms, radios, and cats. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just talking about Earth Day coming up on April 22nd, and I'm trying to encourage people to plant a food forest. No, just kidding. Just plant a fruit tree if you can. But if you wanted to plant a food forest for just common ground, go for it. The funny thing is, you don't need to have a piece of paper in your hand saying that you own that land. All you have to have is a living spirit in you that says, I belong to this land. It's an attitude shift, eh? Mm. Careful though, the establishment doesn't like that. Hey, David Corey with Crop. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Move to Tennessee. All the snow stops in late January, early February. Yeah, we get about 2 weeks here at Southern Vancouver Island of like snow. But sometimes you only get like 2 or 3 days. And then like the winter of 96, well, you got like a couple months worth. It's the variant, the amounts it's very variable. It can go up, low. Fortunately, this year it's been really nice. It's been lovely. Good to see you, David Corey with Crop. Yeah. So, yeah. Is Barry still here? Yeah. Hi, hey, everyone watching the weather here in Kentucky under a tornado watch. I think it's going to miss us. Yeah, be careful there, Barry. That's why I advocate caves, underground rooms, and 3 escape tunnels and routes away from your underground room or cave. You know, really a lot of protection there. When asteroids hit the planet, I mean the animals that lived underground, like bears, rats, you know, a lot of foxes and bunnies and lizards and snakes. They're the ones that survived. And there's a mass extinction going on. So it's interesting about a cave can bring you. And that was the first home that, humans went to. And I follow stuff like that. So anyway, be safe, storms. Yup. Storm. New off grid neighbors. Hey, everyone. Okay. New off grid neighbors want some blackberry cuttings. Really? I have to stuff the tips of the new growth in plastic coffee ground containers and wait for the roots. Then clip and ship. Yeah, aloe vera is very cool. And when you make a cutting, and just dip it in aloe vera and then put a bunch into a container and keep a moisture lid on it, and that'll all bud out. That'll all bud out. Yeah. 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 I like easy propagation too. Yeah. Good morning. Okay. Tapped in enjoying gardening, saying good morning. Mandy says, ha, I lived in Victoria in 96, James Bay. That Thrifties had lineups to get in and limits on everything. Parked cars buried in snow, so much snow. Yeah, yeah. I lived through that myself. You couldn't see the cars. You couldn't see anything. There was 6, 7, 8 feet of snow. Like boom, it just come down and it didn't stop. I lived in the cave capital of America. Laughed out loud. Really, Barry? There might be one in my woods. Yeah, never know. Yeah, you can make a cave anywhere. I've been watching a lot of videos on cave making, and yeah, willow water's good too. Bill, cinnamon, honey, different methods. I like aloe vera because it does hardwood cloning really well. Hey, there's two different kinds of cloning. There's softwood and there's hardwood. Eh? Yeah. Um, aloe and cinnamon. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, cinnamon's the bark, and there's a lot of hormones, growth hormones there, like gibberellins. That's what you're going for. Hey, there's three types of hormones you should familiarize yourself. One's cytokines, one's gibberellins, and one is auxins. And the auxins they're more in the root area, you know. But anyway, yeah, there's cloning is a really fast way to make a food forest, and hardwood clones are really neat for me here where I am. I imagine it is where most folks are. It's the dormant part of the tree, and you maybe as big as your pinky, and you cut it just below the node, and then you can clone that quite easily. The big thing is it dries up because it hasn't developed a root system yet. So the leaves that are driving out, they 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 need a humidity there that it should be high humidity because you don't want they're sensitive. They're very sensitive. But about 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks later, you should be like rocking through on a cloned food forest. I've done that. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, be safe storms. I live in a cave. Okay, always sky warn spotter here. Good. Allison Willow. Yeah, even I even heard of people using turmeric, not verified. I'll look into that more. Interesting. Well, anything that has a lot of hormones in it. I've heard about the cinnamon, David. Never aloe, so that's great info. Oh yeah, aloe. Aloe is the number one thing. I just use aloe. I've got actually a giant potter of aloe growing because you never know. You never know when you've got to make another food forest. And I keep a banana in it too. It's an odd arrangement, but it really works. And the banana is probably 5, 6 feet tall with, I don't know, a little less than a half a dozen leaves on it. I've never had bananas on it, but it's still here in case I need it. Now I've heard about this. Okay, blueberries, the first 1 foot of new growth is good for rooting. Well, yeah, that done lower, new growth more woody and did poorly. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, there's a limit there, and about the size of your pinky, maybe a little smaller for blueberry. The roundness, and you want at least 5 or 6 little nodes on it or something. But yeah, I've made a lot. There's two ways to make blueberry clones. There's hardwood cuttings and softwood cuttings. So Yeah. Yeah. Um, hey, make it by Mandy. Hey, Howie, is there a trick to growing radishes? I've tried again this year. They grew a bit of leaves, then stopped and died. Well, radishes are alkaline lovers. They're also a water vegetable. So you can never let that water dry out. And they like it sprinkled, like a nice mist. They don't like it in the hot sun, you know, hot sun, partial shade, growing with other plants. That's what I had to do here. Radishes, there's so many different kinds of radishes. They really like soil that's, that they like, if you're growing, say, like the giant German radishes, the giant German red ones. I mean, they're way bigger than a golf ball. I grow those every year. I have several rows in already. And what you want to do is get it in when it's a cool weather crop, like right now. It should have been in a couple weeks ago, even, but from a couple weeks ago till the middle of April. See, it only takes 21 days to grow your 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 radish, and they contain a lot of water. You don't want them stressed ever. You want to love them and nurture them, and they don't like a bunch of other plants tight on them. They like a nice airflow. They don't, they're a cool weather crop, but they're a massive nitrogen fixers. Okay, they're massive nitrogen fixers. So provide them an area where they can, you know, they have those ideal conditions, and the timing's everything. If you have to extend, if you have to extend your radish growing season, then you'd need a shade cloth, Mandy. You definitely need a shade cloth because you'll see burning and stuff, and they're stopped. Photosynthesis stops after, I think, like 85 degrees or something like that. And if you don't have the right humidity for radishes, or carrots are another one, especially when they're seeding, like when you're putting direct sows of seed, or and mostly that's how carrots are planted anyway. But you want to keep that fairly moist. Okay. Okay, I hope I answered your. Yeah, you stopped and died. That tells me that it just had too much heat. A shade cloth. It doesn't have to be very big, like any type of piece of plastic that you have, and just punch holes in it, and then just shoot it with a little bit of, say, nature friendly paint. And there is such a thing, or you can buy remade. And that's what professionals use. They put remade white cloth. It looks very ghostly going up and down. You may have seen it before. Simple Life. Howie is live and growing to survive. Yeah. That's no. I'm not growing to survive. That I'm growing to thrive. Okay, you bring it up a level. Cheers. Good to see you, Simple Life. Intermixed radishes did well in large pots for us growth with herbs. Yes, our radishes last year did okay in native clay in rows. Goat loved them. Well, that's good. That's very good. Hey, Arky, how's it going, man? Hope I haven't missed anybody. Good to see you, Arky. Yeah, let's make sure. Yeah, goat, love them. Well, you know what? You're smart to have goats. A few females to give milk, cheese, and butter, and you have a few chickens, and you have a garden. you pretty much have it covered. A deep, fresh water spring is very good. So yeah, you're well on your way, and I'm glad your goats enjoyed your radishes. You still got you were if they ate the radish, then they still put the nitrogen into the soil. Oh, and then see that's taken by little creatures like nematodes and microbes and everything, and it's made smaller, and then the mycelium's able to pick that up and bring it to trees, shrubs, and plants. See, that's how it works. It's a good thing what the goat did. Yeah. You should be planting buckets for goats. Yeah. Feeding your goats fodder too. That like when you see deciduous trees, not evergreens, but when you see deciduous trees growing and then you have a long spout like on maples or alders or whatever it is, a round leaf deciduous tree, you cut that when it starts growing the leaf out. It's just about maxed out. So then you cut it and then you lay it in piles up against something like another tree so air goes around it. You don't make big piles. You only make little piles like that. Don't tighten it too much. You want it to dry, and that's your goat fodder, Bill. Hope that finds you well. Hot sun and the soil drying out could have been issues for me for sure. Thank you for the info. You're most welcome. And I seen Arky in here. Good. I like Arky. Sings pretty good, and he knows a lot about looking after himself in nature. He's an expert. Her eco life. Wow, look at this. A good friend showed up. Yeah, yeah. There you go, Mallory. Good to see you. Hope everything's going good for you, Mal. Mal's joined an eco village and building her own cabin soon, and she's on a mission. So get over there and say hello to her eco life if you can. Very cool channel. Grows a lot of food, but Mal's on a new journey now. So Mallory, my best to your endeavors. I wear your T-shirt all the time. Yes, I sent you one. Yes, yeah. On April 22nd, you travel around with that shirt on Earth Day. Other people that have the shirts have let me know I seen so and so, and I'm like, cool. Yeah, very cool. Good on you. I have a few minutes between clients. Just wanted to say hello. Well, I'm glad you did. Um, Her eco life. I'm very happy that you said hello. And yeah, the t-shirt's cool. Hey, I like it. I like that one better than these other ones. These other ones it was like falling apart, and I'm like, what's this? Like, come on! Like, people are paying money for this. Like, don't So you ended up with one of the better ones. So good on you. Okay, Simple Life. Yeah, hey, Simple Life's here too. I wanted to say hello. Well, hello again. And her eco life, good morning. Yeah, Mallory. Yeah, tapped in. Good morning. Okay. Hey, Buddy Biggs. Howie, my friend. It's good to see you. Just popping in for a second to say hello. Busy day. You have a beautiful, lovely day. Good to see you, Buddy Biggs. Very cool guy. He does fishing, magnet fishing, and he's out in the outdoors. He'll even climb a tree and do a live stream from a tree. It's just beautiful. Yeah, and nice man too. A very kind man. Yeah. I will definitely be needing your permaculture experiences for the Eco Village. Oh, anytime. I can throw down anytime, whatever you need. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. I definitely, yeah, you got it, Mal. Now, we've known each other a long time, and you're a real go-getter. You're a real go-getter, and you grow a lot of food. Mother Nature just loves you. God loves you. We love you. Yeah. Okay. Tapped in is saying good morning to Arky. Arky's pretty cool. You can learn a lot from Arky. I'll tell you that. I have. And he does some pretty cool singing too. By like he'll make a fire and he'll just do it like you have to go and enjoy one of his live streams. It's very, very nurturing. He's a lovely soul, a great living spirit. Where are we buying these shirts? Howie shirt. Well, I'm in the process. It's a process with me, and it'll be on my YouTube channel in my merch section. I've decided to donate some money to people. Like there's the one person I know in Ontario that's trying to remodel their house. So I'm just trying to think of ways of getting some coinage to buy the materials, and I'm hoping that she goes along with it. She's really nice and her husband's really cool. They don't have a lot and they don't have a lot of resources, but they can grow food. I'll tell you that. And they've done Pathway Soil Bank building. They've grown food. They know what they're doing. It's just that they need a little help initiating to get onto fixing their roof and their addition and stuff, and the porch needs work and stuff. But they're not really carpentry type people. They're more just peace, love, and anti-war people. Not that we're getting political here. Thank you, Howie. That's very kind. I hope everyone has an awesome day. See you, Buddy Biggs. Much love, mad respect. The shirts. Okay, I better catch up, and then I'll go back to the shirts. Ramping up to grow the most melon varieties trestled in a grow pot gardening anyone has ever seen. Fingers crossed we do not fail. This will be epic or a major crash and burn. Her eco life. It's all forest and raw land, so I need a good design. Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Did I send you this, Mallory, right here? Did I send you this? I think I did. And this is making soil. That's the Hugel mounds, and this is just a this is the north. You see the sign there? It says north. So in the north part, you put all the trees. You make your Hugel mounds, you make your Pathway Soil Bank. Now, that's the easiest way to go. But in your locale, you're going to have leaves, Mallory, and you're going to have branches. You're going to have dead bugs, bird poop. So in the forest, you can take some of that soil and gather it up and bring it to your eco village. And that's one way, because you're out in basically the wilds of Quebec. So, hope you don't mind me saying that. But yeah, I definitely will work on a design with you. That's totally, I'm all over that, Mal. We got to go back. Okay. Bill, if you're growing melons, it's great that you can look after them in a pot, but they like them. Melons and squash like a mound. In the Boy Scouts, they teach the Boy Scouts to make a mound and then put some nice soil on it and then plant it and make a divot like this, like a bowl, and then you put water in the bowl so it stays there. And where you are, you might want to try a few mounds and then put melons and squash on it. But if you're growing in a bucket, hey, I'm all for it. I've changed my attitude on container gardening, I'll tell you that. Okay, I can go ahead. Hey, Broke Farmer, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. The Wickershire project off grid lifts shirt and flashes grow big TV. Yeah, hey Joe, good to see you, Joe. Wickershire, wow, peaked outside and it's still like zero. Well, stay inside, Bill. That's a great to get good soil in the woods. Yes, yes, it is. It is totally good. There's a few rules about it. If there's like weeds that are nauseous, ones that are hard to control. You might not want to do the gathering of the soil where there's English ivy, blackberry, but you can. You just have to let it sit and grow its weeds and then cardboard it or whatever you're doing. Tarp it really works good. And you want to have, you want to have good concept of observation. But the woods is nice because every 10 years, 1 inch is made by the woods, the trees, the forest. Right. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're most welcome, Mallory. You're most welcome. If you don't know Mal, you should go over and say hello and ring the bell and watch a video. You could really learn a lot. She's done a great deal. Yeah, she has skills. That's a great to get good soil. Oh yeah, it's one of the best. I always found like underneath big logs that are kind of just sitting off the ground, and then they've come down on the ground and just go on the one side, and that's where I liked it that night. But my absolute favorite, I must admit, which is terrible, is a swamp. Go to the beaver dam and where the beaver house is. I mean, he's been there for millennia. So there's some really super rich black soil. I mean, you want that black gold. It's beautiful. And you can grow anything in that. It's all ready to go. You just might have to alkalize it if you're growing vegetables or something like that. Boom, boom. All right, my client is here. See ya, her eco life. See you, Mallory. Take care. Much love, mad respect, and I'll send you an email. I have yellow squash up. Nice, Archie. Great way. Yeah, it is a great way to get soil. Good to see you, her eco life. My other name channel was Garden State Gardener. So good to see you. Yeah, that's a very cool channel. Howie, I will try some mounds behind the trellis net on the north side. Well, good for you, Bill. That really works well. We'll see how each does. Use the same super soil for both methods. I'm sick of buying grow pots. Channel show expenses. Yep, decaying trees. Yeah, absolutely, David Corey with Crop. Sorry, Crawford. I want to keep your name straight. But yeah, try the mounds like like 10 feet by 10 feet mound. It's the best, but if it's smaller than that, the 6 foot, 5 foot, that's okay too. But you want a nice bowl like this on top of the mound. So you plant on the outside of the bowl here that the root comes down, but you can put the water in it and then the water comes down through the mound. But the debris, this is like David Corey with Crops talking about this soil. That's the great way to get soil is you go to the forest and grab that soil, Bill. That's full of microbes that you want. Indigenous, there's IMOs there that and if you're doing it in the morning and you get leaves on it right away, you haven't destroyed it too much, the microbes. But it doesn't take very long for the microbes to grow back really, really quickly. But the point is you want them to survive. So a nice cool morning, don't handle it too much, and you want those IMOs, but they'll come back anyway. Yeah, but yeah, do the mounds, man. It's an old Boy Scout trick, man. They teach people in the Boy Scouts to grow pumpkin, right? That's the first thing people learn, right? So it really, really helps. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up. Good to know how I have 15 acres of woods to grab some fertilizer. Oh yeah, 1 inch every 10 years, Storm. Barry, every 10 years. So if that's a 50-year-old forest, there's 5 inches of soil. When you go in there, make sure you're not taking away right from the tree. You go over, if there's a tree here, you go over here, there's a tree there, then grab it from the center here. What a lot of people do is they rake the leaves into the center and then they burn it and then they take that and go and put it into their beds, or they're making the mound, Bill. Remember your bowl. Howie, I will try some mounds behind the trellis. Absolutely. Net on the north side. We'll see how. Yeah, good for you, Bill. Good to know, Howie. Yep. 2025, we will be simplifying our garden efforts. Why not do it now? Instead of 75 different plants, I'll be just doing 16 to 20, mostly things we love to eat. Yeah, grow what you eat always and eat what you grow. Yeah. Wickershire, it seems a little less stressful. Yes, David Corey with crop. You want efficiency, the least amount of work, and the fastest way to get the food, but you don't want to be stressed. And I see a lot of gardeners gets out, and then some even have a heart attack because they've been sitting around all winter. I've seen it. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Have no stress. That's the big one. Hey, you don't want any stress. Oh my God, know who Mallory is? I've seen her videos. Small world we live in. Yeah, yeah. Extremely good gardener. It's early yet. Hey, Gear, what's going on, Gear? Adrian, there we go. There you go, Adrian. And yeah, Gear's here. Good to see you, Gear. Yeah, yeah. Hit that thumbs up on the way in, on the way out. Good to see you, Adrian. Yeah. So making soil, Earth Day is coming up, and if you could plant a food for us, I love you. If you just planted a tree, I love you. If you watered a tree, I love you. So make a video and put it up on the YouTube and or any other social media. But if there's a link to my channel that you say that is for April 22nd, Earth Day, and High Food Forest Permaculture, Howie, whatever, and state what you do. It could be only like a 30-second, minute, whatever. You don't even have to show your face. I put you in a jar on your name, not you. But on a more serious note, I need to excuse myself for one moment, please. Oh, forgive me for that. I'm so sorry, but nature's a funny thing. Woke up from the recliner and went to bed now. Night shift is messing with my gardening schedule. I've seen your video a few days back, maybe in a week or so ago. You changed the lattice out. Yeah, yeah. Nice looking soil. I liked it. Gear, say ever loaded gear. Oh, you're most welcome, Adrian. Woke up from okay, morning storms. So, I just seen a heart fly by. Sherwood gear. Oh, I just seen a lemon go by or something. Simple life, raining like crazy here, maybe 4 inches in a day. Wow. Simple life. Oops. There you go. Oh, sorry about that. I just do experiments. It's nothing personal. But I give out the wrench so people can go and visit other channels. That's about it. There's really no moderation needed. The odd time we get some thing that lives under a bridge. So, but hey, you gotta love everybody. Simple life. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I don't see everything clearly. We're expecting flood soon. Yeah, was a major weather warning for the southern U.S. kind of more southern, eastern, southeastern. I watched. I was like, "What's going on?" And there was said some pretty serious weather patterns. Oh no, Wickershire, what happened, Bill? No point in keeping any snow. Alaska sweet snap peas here, just planting the 12 mixed packets out. No faith in them. 7A. Oh, well, have faith, Bill. Raining like crazy here, maybe 4 inches in a day. That's a lot of rain, man. I captured in my buckets now outside. Oh, I should do a video of that. Yeah. Okay. Dances who lives on the hill. The sky let it rain. Yep. Storms going from Texas to east. Yeah. Oh, the storms. Oh, the storms. Yeah, yeah. I thought you were talking about the other guy, storms. Yes, storms going from Texas to the east. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, apparently there's going to be some nasty wind. We was in the basement a few times at work last night, totaling almost 2 hours. Easy money, but those darn stairs. Wow. Well, you got to get your exercise there, Gear. Came through Dallas yesterday due to storms. Yeah. Yeah. Wendy Benjamin. Good morning, Wendy Benjamin. Good to see you, Wendy Benjamin. And there you go. Boom. There you go. Pushing here. What? Pushing here. I'm watching my treetops from the window. Oh, yeah. Be careful there. Hey, growing big TV. And Gear says hello to Grow Big TV. Oh, Grow Big TV. Joe is saying hello first. I didn't, I say I don't look too well at stuff. I have to stay on top of it. But April 22nd, like if you start planning now, if you're purchasing a tree, something you've grown from a seed or pit, do a video, put it up. I'm not a go billionaire and I'm not a millionaire either, but I'm giving a pretty good prize this year. So put your video up saying how you look after nature in your locale. Be right back. Need to tarp the coop over. I'm sure the goose will just stand in it, enjoying it. Oh, for sure. 8 years into this place, I finally planted asparagus. Oh, nice. Takes a couple years, but it really works. We are supposed to get nor'easter here in Nova Scotia on Thursday. Interesting. A nor'easter can be pretty rough, pretty cold too. Yep. Yep. But coming up onto the hour, good things to do, Howie. Planting trees, it's the best. When you plant a tree, I like to put a vine next to it, like a grapevine, a passion fruit vine, a kiwi. I'll even put climbing roses next to it. And after a few years, you have to do a little chop and drop. It gets a little thick, but hey, you need make soil anyway. Wendy Benjamin saying hello to the cropper. David Corey with crop. That's a very cool name. But on a serious note here, when you're planting trees, what I like to do is to dig a hole like this, depending on the tree too, there's variants, and then making a T like this. So it goes in, but it actually has a way to, if they're lateral roots, they have a way to expand to stabilize the tree. I see a lot of people just dig a hole and put a tree in. That's good. You're planting a tree. I'll take it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. but on a more serious note, then where the roots go out, you can put like a heavy stone there, especially if you're growing like when you have the hole dug down here and then it's going out, say 3 feet, right, 36 inches, and then you put the tree in and then you fill that back in with the indigenous soil that's there right away. You want you want to put it back in. And like I love if I'm having a really big tree grow, and I don't prune a whole lot unless it's dead or I need to open up the center a little bit when the tree is dormant. I live in northern North America, Canada, but I am on the West Coast. So that being said and done, every little area is going to be different. Every little microclimate, temperate zones, whatever you got. Uh, yes, yes, absolutely. David Corey with crop, absolutely. That stabilizes the tree like this and this, and then you can put like large stones there, and that really helps with holding the tree, especially if you got a windy area. Put a break from the where the wind comes from the most, and the break can be just a row of poplars or even a fence, snow fence is also considered a windbreak. So just lattice. So the wind slows down before it draws the energy out of a tree, especially young ones that you're planting. It's really important. And pre-watering that hole is really important. And knowing the tree that also, like if you get trees from your locale. Importing a tree, if you live in northern Canada, you're importing a tree from California through the internet, you've lost. You might win, but it's it's iffy. So, but if you're going in your locale, finding a nurseryman that's growing that tree, and I let my trees grow and grow and grow, and just they're loaded because I don't injure them. I don't top them because then I'm creating a job the rest of my life. I don't want a job the rest of my life. I want to thrive. I don't want to just survive and keep going and doing. It's non-ergonomic for me to do something where I got to look after it. I don't want that. I'm a lazy gardener. I'm a lazy permaculturalist. And I don't want to do any work. So that being said and done, for myself, I'm not saying you can prune tops of whatever you want and do whatever you want. If you have all the time in the world, great, for that's okay too. Like if you're doing a spalier, like Bull's garden there, he's the spalier in his fruit trees and stuff, and he's right into it, and he's very successful. And a lot of commercial orchardists are successful. After a few years of growing that tree, they actually cut it down and plant another one. They only keep them for so long because then that's the heavy producing years, like 10, 12, 15 years. But I have seen, if you don't prune it and just let it look after itself and plant it with a nitrogen fixer like a mountain ash or something like that, near a creek, but not on the creek. You want to be back from the creek or spring or low area, that accumulates water, or you want to make a swale or a water catchment. So you want to put the tree where, if it's lateral growing, goes out and grabs, like cherry trees really like that, and they grab it, and then you don't see as many water spouts coming up from the cherry tree that's the roots are going out. And then there's like mineralizers like figs that go straight down there at taproot. So you don't need to put that T there because they're taproot. Not very many trees are taproot trees. So that being said and done, but they are there. A peach tree is considered a taproot tree, but most are lateral. I'd say 90% are lateral growing trees. So that's something to really think about when you're planting a tree, and just sit and enjoy a cup of tea and look at the tree where you took it from. Listen to the advice of the nurseryman, because the nurseryman, they grew it from a clone or they grafted onto a stalk or whatever it is, and listen to what they're telling you. and then you're going to make your own decisions anyway, but at least you have a concept of observation. And when I get a tree, for one, I don't buy trees that have been pruned. I don't. I absolutely don't. But that's me. Now that doesn't have to be you. You can, plant whatever you bloody well please. But for me, my experience is that if there's a water source nearby, the lateral roots will go over there, and you will get good production because the hormones that have built up in the stems are not being cut off and then rebuilt. You see, and at first, when I first started seeing it, I'm like, nobody looks after this tree. This was like a go billion years ago, right? And, and I'm like, nobody looks after these trees, but there's a water. So I started realizing there's a nitrogen fix there. And this lady from Tofino on the other side of Vancouver Island, where I live, she puts out this video about not making yourself a job for the rest of your life by pruning your tree. I'm like, I've been thinking about this for years, and here it is. And it was quite a long time ago now. And I'm like, I gave it a try. It was way back in the day, and I gave it a try. And then I realized it's going to work because in my environment, I seen trees that were growing wild and they're loaded. If a tree gets kind of clumpy, then obviously you're going to have to open it up. And that's what she talked about. And she was a very ancient, she was in her 90s. She was a very older gardener. So she knew what she was talking about. And it was worthwhile listening to. And she absolutely said, no, never. I never prune a tree anymore. And she had been doing that for years. And then she took us to her garden, her food forest, really. And I'm looking at it. I'm in awe. I'm in absolute bloody awe. I'm like, really? So now she teaches in the community gardens in Tofino. They don't get pruned when wild and still grow wonderfully. Yeah. A cup of tea and a scone. You're fun. You're fun. You're fun, dear. Never thought of making room for the lateral roots. Oh, always. I had a look at your place. I was over there. I think it was yours, and the ground was quite muddy. And I would be building pathway soil bank right on top of that. I'd wood chip the whole place for 2 or 3 feet, and then I'd leaf the place a foot. And then you can, when you make your soil, you'll be Okie Gigi, welcome. Good morning. They don't get pruned when no, and that's the thing. If you prune them, you're going to get fruit. Don't get me wrong. But why do I want to do the work when I can just let it grow? And the worst thing is to buy bare root stock. I have found, in my opinion, because I've done experiments too, where I went and bought bare root stock that was pruned and they just snipped it and it's out. And I'm like, oh God, seeing it, I was like, oh. And then and that was a Bartlett pear. And then I bought an apple, a Honeycrisp apple that wasn't pruned. I'm like, oh, this long whips on it. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's the one for me, man. And I wish I had my time back. I would have bought a dozen of them. And I planted it. And gosh, the day I planted it, I noticed a little bud already on it. I'm like, what? And then 2 weeks later, it had flowers. And then a few months later, I was enjoying these big apples. I thought, this really works. It's the proof that I'm looking for. So yeah, yep, that is my place. I'm in a holler, and all the water from way up from the neighbors comes straight down in my backyard. Well, what happens is you dig a trench this way, and then the water goes in, and you can divert it around. It might take you a little bit of work, but you can dry that out somewhere. It's not so wet. And putting down biomass from your locale, like wood chips from Wood Chip Company, is free. You to go out and get a chipper, then everything's free. Lawn clippings, coffee grounds from Starbucks is free. So you're making layers, Wendy Benjamin, and 3 to 5 inch layers in a pathway soil bag. But if you want to put several feet of something down, go for it. You're not going to be mucky like all over your shoes when you walk around. And if you want to leave a little spot that stays wet for the ducks or geese, it's all in how you plan, right? But on April 22nd, Earth Day, I'm going to be on a lot. I don't know how long, but I'm going to be on a lot. So if you have any questions or directions, I definitely would um, um, ask them then. Or my email's available in my about section. Please only email me about gardening or soil, or don't email me about anything else, because I'm non-political and I don't get involved with cults, and I only look after nature and my own living spirit, which I've been granted by the creator of this planet. And so I don't get involved with anything other, unless it's an eco village or something like that. Or if you have acreage and in a suburban area too, I'll help with that. And it's all free. I don't ask for money and I don't want any. But on April 22nd, I am going to help a friend with, her and her husband already built a food forest there, but they had to leave because the house is in rough shape. And they're not really carpenters, but they're well on their way of what to decide to do with the food forest they grew in a small town, maybe a bigger town with a city nearby. I don't want to say too much. And but yeah, I'm not here for the money. I don't need money. All I need, this is all I need. Okay, this is my positive thoughts for everyone. You should know, and I should know, where there is a cave. I should know, and you should know how to obtain goats, female goats preferred, but you're going to need a male goat if you're doing husbandry. A seed bank, rich, lush soil, and a freshwater spring. That's all I need, and love. All I need is love. That's it. Everything else that I mentioned, I need. But yum, goats. Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, goat is a very good protein, but if I couldn't eat a friend of mine, I just couldn't. I can't do it. But I have bought goat, and I've had eaten goat and lamb. You should have 2 or 3 or half dozen sheep. Sheep's milk's excellent, makes cheese as well, and butter. It's very easy to do, but you don't need a lot to survive. Goats, cave, chickens, water source like a spring, right? And seeds. If you don't have any seeds, just go to the store and buy a tomato. You got all the tomato seeds you want. You want to grow peppers, go to the store and buy a pepper. You grow all the peppers you want. I mean, you got to think, a professional farmer, that's his best he can give. So why not receive the best, and for absolutely free, because you're buying the fruit or veggie anyway, right? But as you get older, you get wiser. I like to have a boar goats one day, Kiko boar goats one day. I just want some Nubians just for the milk and butter. I've looked at a few, and I went in the 4-H club has some, and the petting zoo had a bunch, but they're too small. These little tiny little goats. They're not very big, and they don't get very big. And I'm like, well, okay, well, like if I'm actually going to buy one, I want like a Nubian, a little bigger, and that's going to produce milk. So you got to let her have a kid or two. I think they might have 1 or 2 kids. I'm not sure. I know they have one for sure. I'd be like, yeah. So yeah. So that you don't really need a lot to be healthy and to survive, eh? And a cave or underground room with some routes out. that nobody knows is there. I'm not advocating people to go out and do this. I'm just telling you what that I would do this if I didn't have a home. I definitely would be digging a cave. I've been watching videos of people in like the Middle East and stuff, and they got no home, right? So, or they were evicted, or they were whatever the circumstance. They go and dig a cave, or to dig an underground room with a tunnel. Okay, what's going on here? Well, for one, who's got 40 years of their life to go up for a mortgage? I'm not saying not to do that. I'm very ergonomic. I'm very sensible. I take the easiest route possible. Yurts are really good, cob houses and tiny homes. You do something that's not a norm of society until it catches up to you. Go ahead and dig your cave, find your deep spring. Hey, so blessed. Good morning to you as well. And start collecting your seeds. And like I said, if you don't have seeds, when you buy a celery, just cut off the bottom and plant it. Bok choy, plant it. You buy a cucumber, leave it for a while, and the seed will develop a little more, and then you have seed. Tomatoes, same way. You cut them open, you're very full of seeds. What I did this year, I bought all different colored tomatoes in a big container. It was a little pricey. It was $5 for a couple pounds of tomatoes, but everyone was different. And I went, okay, that's for me. And I planted them, and they're all over here in a tray. I'll show you. Here you go. See, I grow trays. Yeah, and this here are all peppers, a rows of all different peppers. And I did that. I bought peppers. I ate them. I'm not just going to go buy seed. And if it's good enough for a professional grower, it's good enough for me. But if you're into heritage, great. All the power to you. Here, tomatoes. Look at rows and rows of all different tomatoes. And this one here are giant beefsteak heritage from Mexico. So they all grew. Everything grew that I planted. And I just bought fruit and vegetables, and I just grow them. I do plant other seeds that I've saved, and I do plant seeds that I buy. Get it any way you can. Garden with what you got, like Peggy Helmling, the goddess of worm bins. I mean, the lady just is amazing. Check out her channel. As a matter of fact, when I do the editing of this, I'll put a link in there if you want to come back and have a look, and there'll be a link to her channel. But this was all from store-bought vegetables. And I've done it lots before. The odd time one don't grow, but very odd, not often. I must show this as well. Yesterday, the doorbell rang, and there's these new kids up the street. They grow their own food, right? So anyway, this is the last one. And, 1-year-old, maybe 2 years old. I don't know how old their daughter is, but not very old. And they made muffins and brought them over and gave them to me. Her mom and dad, and they're great people. They moved into the neighborhood a year or so ago, and you should see the place. I gave them lots of fig trees and stuff, right? Clones I made of really rare ones too. But look at this little tiny little muffins. Too funny, man. Yeah, that's the blessing for the goodness. Okay, Gigi, how do you prepare the seeds from a tomato? Well, there's a coating on it that repels bugs from eating it. So all I do is I put it in living soil, and the microbes break that down, and I just grow it. Right? It's as simple as that. A lot of people like to leave it, dry it, and leave them. And I do too, but I think that's work. I take the tomato and I plant directly. Same with my eggplant, same thing. And I'll dry some out for storage too. Like these things that I'm growing, right? You want to, like, I have containers, like little uh nutraceutical containers. You buy like vitamin D or vitamin C or whatever. So I reuse the container. I fill that up and I write on there what it is, or maybe I don't fill it up. Maybe I just put in 100. There's only so many seeds I can grow and give away. So Tony, the fig loving stargazer, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, saving seeds is you don't have to plant them all. And like here, I dried out a piece of eggplant. Inside that piece of eggplant's all the seeds that I want. Okay. So I didn't sit there and meticulously take everyone out. So I just popped this into a pill bottle, a little pill container, and in the freezer. And it's almost time to do that because it's been like a month or so and it's nice and dry. And I'll do that with tomatoes too. And you really want, good to see you, Tony. And you really want to save seeds for later. It's so important. Once there's nothing on the shelf, you ain't getting nothing. Okay, I'm not trying to spread fear porn. I'm trying to spread common sense. Common sense dictates I am prepared. You got your goats, 3 of them. Okay. You got your chickens, half a dozen or so, depending on the size of your clan or family. You got your cave, cob house, easy to build cob house, dirt house, soddy. Ukrainians used soddies for 100 years on the prairies. When there's problems above ground, like say if it got too hot, wonder what would cause that. Underground's your best bet. It's nice and cool. Okay? It's all in how you use this, not this. It's this. Yeah, absolutely. It's a big thing. Back, animals and plants start secured for the storm. Smart, Bill. Very smart. Okie Gigi. Good to see you, Okie Gigi. Anybody have any questions? I don't. Do you transplant your tomatoes before you put them in the soil, Howie? Okay. I can, and I'm at the point where that needs to be done. I can pull it out, and the hairs are still nice and gray and whitish, and they're still healthy. But if you're starting to see a little tiny bit of browning, you got to boost them into a bigger pot. But what I'm doing with those starts, Mandy, is I'm taking a glass jar. I've requisitioned part of the new veggie patch where the lawn is the sunniest, hottest, with lots of air current and easy access if I have to water. And there's a hose. The property owners have put a hose there, one of those collapsible ones. So I just want to get it beefed up for them. And I've done everything I can to make all the layers with leaves and compost and pathway soil bank and cardboard and wood ash and tons of biochar. See, there's, biochar, there's big chunks and then there's powder. Okay. The big chunks will house the microbes, worms, and nutrients. So the big chunk, it's important to have several big chunks underneath a plant because that will soak up the water and nutrients, and then the plant's roots will grow right into those big pieces of biochar. That being said and done, you've got your big biochar. Now you've got your little powderized biochar. Bugs don't like it. They're like, okay, I'm out of here. This isn't friendly for me. I'm just, giving my analogy if I was a bug. So they leave, right? They just take off, right? And then the wood ash, like I'm constantly putting down wood ash with my biochar. I actually load my biochar with wood ash and I soak the wood ash into the biochar. And then, you hear a lot of people saying, okay, you can only put so much biochar into the soil. Well, I haven't had that problem yet, but I have heard very professional people say, okay, you don't need to do it anymore. And I'm like, okay, but I like it. I like putting down my big chunks when I plant those rows, Mandy, of plants there. I'll make sure I got the big biochar, the powdered biochar on the outside of that. Wood ash is loaded up, and with calcium, with bone meal, I've loaded it, and then I put the plant in there. Whether it's a pepper, peppers like to grow. They don't care how they grow, as long as they're not touching too much. But they like to grow with other peppers. So yeah, and then tomatoes like to be left alone. They like to grow up and be hung, like tied to stays and stuff. They do really good. And then cucumbers like to travel up an arbor, but I like to put them against trees. I always put and I'm going to try to do some videos where I'm planting direct sow this year by May 24th, long weekend, into the ground with my cucumber, with my zucchini. Because zucchini, they like a little shade. They don't like it out in front of God and everybody, So yeah, I hope that answered your question. I add biochar and wood ash all winter long, year after year. Yeah. Smart. I'm saving many things for sprouting. They grow fast and full of nutrients. Yep. Okay. And David saying hello to Tony, the fig loving stargazer. He's a great guy. And Bill, note, transplants will go into shock when transplanted grow will stop. This is normal. No, it's not. It's not normal at all. It's only normal if you've been programmed to think it's normal. Plants should not go into shock because you've hardened them off. If you just stick a plant right out there in the field and in front of God and everybody, then yeah, you got a problem, man. You got to if you're starting your starts, you don't want to just go out and plant them. Okay, you want to harden them off. Like I put my tray there outside for a couple of hours in the sun every day. Not all day. And then I'll take them back in and I'll pop the LED on. I want them to get used to the climate, to where they're going, and they're not shocked. You don't want shocked plants, they don't produce anything. But it's not norm if you've done your due diligence, and we could say, look, Bill, those look great, so kudos to you for making them live. But if you just go ahead and plant them, you're going to have some success, but you won't have great. I have trying to root fig cuttings, lots of trial and error. Well, there's only one way that I do figs, is I do an air layer with a Ziploc lunch baggie with soil and just keep it wet with a couple holes in it, make a little nick in the fig tree. The other way is aloe vera. I just cut off, like, say, this much before the tree is out of dormancy. Only when dormant, the fig tree, you take this, you cut it off at a node. You see where my knuckle is there? So you don't want to be above the knuckle. You want to be below the knuckle and have 2 or 3 knuckles above it. They're called nodes. So you want to just cut it off just below that and dip it into aloe vera, and then put a bunch into a little container like that with some peat or something like that, and then put a plastic lid on top of that. Keep it wet. Check it out. You'll see leaves growing like this. And that's the fastest route that I can see other than air layering. Hope that finds you well. If fruiting new plants put on flowers or fruit, they are new and small. You can consider pruning off the fruit or flowers to promote plant growth. Well, you are shocking it then, Bill. Why not harden it off, Bill? Bill Hard, he's funny. You can take it too. I'm saying okay. Okay. Biochar, no. Okay, Howie, what do you know about growing bamboo? You don't need to know anything about growing bamboo. That stuff looks after itself and you can't kill it. But it's important to note, one type of bamboo shoot is delicious, not all the rest. There is giant bamboo that's really good. You can make a home out of it fairly quickly. So that some bamboo like years ago, black bamboo was all the rage. Some people use it in musical gardening. I know this is foreign to a lot of people, but it's rustling. So it's like listening to the trembling aspen, the poplar, and it goes in the wind. So some people like to sit out in nature and hear how the wind makes the musical gardening from different plants, shrubs, trees, vines. And I know it sounds weird because most people don't think of musical gardening. Yeah. Okay. What's Bill saying? Plants will stop growth in small pots once the roots bind up. Yeah. It'll panic and go into flower fruit mode to push out something so it survives, goes to seed. Yep. Just grow in a bigger pot, Bill. Like you're saying you want to grow squash or melons or something in a pot. They're one of the very few vines or any type of plant that goes straight down and has a root system on it, like a veggie, you know. Yeah. They're not like other plants that spread out and grab nutrients. They just go straight down. They're looking for water, hey. Where hardening off is super important. Yup. Howie, what do you know about growing bamboo? There's not much to know. You can grow it in deciduous bark mulch. It'll just take right over. And you can utilize it for making stays. There's a lot of things you can make mats. There's a lot you can do with bamboo. It'll hold in a hillside if you need or some erosion to stop with pampas grass. It's all in what the situation you have. Laugh out loud. You are correct, Mandy. Bamboo is like Jerusalem artichoke. You'll never get rid of it. Ha ha. You know what? I can eat a lot of Jerusalem artichoke. That's my favorite. You boil it for 12, 15 minutes, and you harvest it in the wintertime after a month's coldness, of course. And you boil it for 10, 12, 15 minutes, whatever the texture you want. And then you squish it a little bit and just cook it into like bacon grease or organic butter or beef tallow or whatever. Just cook it a little bit and brown it, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Just do a little bit until your body gets used to the inulin. It's a fiber that's your body's not used to such dense superfoods, so you can pass a little gas, or you can actually have pain. And so you just eat like one or two the first time you do it. I know 90-year-old ladies that eat it raw right out of the garden, so that tells me a lot. They're used to it, right? So, Chaz, hey, this is my neighbor. Good morning, Chaz Devlin. Hi, Chaz. Could make a good deer fence. Yes. That's an excellent idea. If the deer can't see the food, it has to smell it, you see. So deer are my favorite thing to do for deer is to put a ribbon in the tree so it flutters. Deer are nervous, right? And plant some food down the way for the deer to go there, not your place. You're smarter than a deer. Right? Great tomato post. Yes, they are an excellent tomato post. Bamboo does a lot. It's a stay. You can make stays out of it, and there's, I don't know, 1,500 varieties or something like that. But most will grow in North America, but not too far north. Zone 4 or 5, I don't think they grow there. Correct me if I'm wrong. They are from Asia, the Orient, so they don't like it too cold. They like a little water, and the big bamboo really likes being near water. So yeah, I prefer to direct sow to avoid all the plant stress. Yes, I as well, Bill. Absolutely. I will never try it that way, Howie. I've never liked Jerusalem artichoke. I tried baked, mashed, pickled, all no go. Your way sounds delicious. Yes, it's the only way I like it. I will eat them raw as well. And like I said, take your time with it. And the big fear people, fellow Earthlings, have is, oh, they're going to take over. Look, get some sleep at night and plant the bloody thing. Okay, just plant it. Plant it on the outside of the perimeter is best, so it's there, and you know it's there. After you break off the dead brown, you know that you've got a row of sunchokes there. That's your hidden food, and that's an up and coming type thing that may help a lot of off gridders. Hidden food, and that'll be part of my Earth Day. Growing on Vancouver Island, welcome, 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 welcome. I just watched you plant your rosemary. And Arbutia, I think, is the name of that plant. You knew the Latin name. That was very cool. That was very cool. That was growing on a rock wall, and I've seen that before. Arbutia. I hope I'm remembering that right. Yeah. So, Urban, hey, good morning, Urban. Urban Gardening Chronicles does a Saturday morning program. Check her out. She's very decent earthling. She's adorable. I'm in Oklahoma and my bamboo has gone crazy. A huge job to control it and keep where you want it. Well, if you don't like it, just start a fire there. Just burn it. Make It by Mandy says, hi, growing on Vancouver Island. Laugh out loud. I did some rebellious planting yesterday. Oh, I noticed you have a new pickaxe. Oh, God, that thing looked bad, man. That looked bad. And you got it for free. And they said to you to try it out. I'd love one of them. you know, for ice climbing to digging harsh ground to a wonderful self-defense weapon, or something that's ergonomic to use in your environment for even walking with an extended handle on one. I think they probably would make one like that. And so, yeah. Where are you? Okay, Urban says good morning to Mandy. Hello to Grow Big. I've got tons of Jerusalem artichokes, Make It by Mandy. I share them every year with locals to plant or eat. I love the flowers in the summer. Me too. Makes excellent fodder for ungulates. And growing on Vancouver Island says hello to Mandy. And Maritza's Yarn and Crafts. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And growing on Vancouver Island. Yes, I love my pickaxe. It's so awesome. It's bad, man. I want one. I have one similar, but it's for like mountaineering and when I go out into the mountains. It's really good. It has a spike on the end, and then it has exactly what yours is, with the it's kind of like a Pulaski type, and but it's an ideal thing to have and keep handy where where that is. It's it's an ideal gardening tool. And it's also an ideal survivalist tool because when there's a bad earthling with a knife that's going at you like this or like that, you got your little pickaxe. As soon as that comes in like that, smack the hand, boy, or the arm, or wherever you like, because they're being bad. And I'm not saying to be bad. I'm just saying that the good person must survive and not be injured. So it's an ideal urban weapon and urban tool, and it's legal. And I love it. Sandra Volmar, good morning, Howie and chat. Well, welcome. Marizia's Yarn and Crafts. I'll have to go check out both those channels. I'm not familiar with it. My old pickaxes are so heavy, like 20 pounds. This one is less than 1 pound. Yeah, and it's ideal as an ergonomic vegetable tool or gardening tool or as a aid in combat. For real. You don't know what's coming to you tomorrow. So you have something that, that's your benefit of gardening. And I saw you digging out the rocks, like the rock like that. And it had a nice wooden, probably hickory or something like that, because it looked kind of hickerish, but I don't know. You would probably know more. Have a good day, Mandy. Hey, bye. Well, I need to go. Heading to Courtney today. Thank you all for the wonderful info, Howie. Much love. Mwah. Self-defense tool. Absolutely. Bye, Mandy. Absolutely. Yeah. And that heavy one too, like that weighs like 20 pounds. She said, I don't think it weighs 20 pounds, but could. But that'd be a big pickaxe, man. But just think, like you want to keep someone away from you, because a knife attack is very quick, or a screwdriver or X-Acto blade. You don't want to have that confrontation. You want to leave. That's the best bet. Climb a tree, climb a mountain, go across the river, lake, jump in the ocean, swim to the kelp bed, whatever you got to do. You don't want to be, you're not trained in that kind of thing. I'm just talking like if you have it. And years ago, when I was a soldier, I don't talk about it much, but I noticed all these old people in the food bank lineup, because we had to go to and take the mobile kitchen there and feed people. And I asked the captain, I said, hey, why do those people have hammers? He goes, well, Howie, they need to protect themselves. I was like, a hammer? I'm not raised like that. So I'm like, well, yeah, a hammer is a pretty deadly weapon, but a pickaxe, so you can redirect. The hammer takes time, and that it's a dull instrument. I mean, that pickaxe, I just love it. I just think it's adorable. Bill found kaolinite, volcanic sulfur, in our clay here. Good. Type of hydrated aluminum silica. Bauxite, hey? Maybe. Squash cukes did great in production. Everything else, not so well. Definitely need more organic material. Oh, absolutely. Self-defense tool. Absolutely. Growing on Vancouver Island. Yeah. Not everybody's nice in this world. And when you got someone that's bad, I'm sorry, or you got a rock that just won't come out, that nice pickaxe, and you can dig it out, or maybe there's gold in that vein in the river. Many, many uses. I mean, you got to traverse an ice shield. That pickaxe you have is ideal. Actually, there are more professional ones, but that'll do in a pinch. Grow Big TV saying hello, and hey CB, welcome. Highland Rim limestones is prevalent here as we break down the soil structure and crack into the lower substrate. It's pretty silicous and charity broken stone. Okay, well, just make Pathway Soil Bank on top of that, Bill. I want to rent a mega sifter and just clean it up in mass quantities. Well, if you want some work, go for it, but just make Pathway Soil Bank, Bill. I love Bill. I love digging up huge rocks. It's very sad. I know, me too. It's practice for my gold. I'm going with a friend, hey, and we're gonna go to this place, and we got gold there before, 9 ounces years ago, and it was a crevasse, and we've mined it out. But that's not to say there isn't another crevasse nearby. I'm not going to say where it is, but hey, you might see a video, because I'm doing that around July, August, somewhere in there when the water is really low, because there's little crevasses in the substrate, like there it's igneous rock, but it has cracking. So any gold that came in on the flood gold, that's what it's called, fills up that crack. I emptied it a couple times, but it wasn't nowhere near the bunch I got years ago from it. So I'm going to look around for new crack there. Yep. Okay. Wickshire, I want to rent it. Yeah, you go right ahead. I don't do that. You know what I use for sifting, man? I take a milk crate and it's got all those holes in it. It looks like a block of Swiss cheese. I throw my Pathway soil bank or my soil from the forest floor, whatever you got, and I just shake it around like that in the wheelbarrow. Don't put it on the ground because then you got to pick it up. You want to make work short, okay? Whatever you do, it's like a guy. I seen this guy recently. He goes and gets a truckload of soil, and he comes there and he offloads the soil into the wheelbarrow and brings it over to the garden, veggie garden. So I left a little message. Maybe just back up a little further and just dump it right into the garden, right? Make work short is so important to be ergonomic. Very important for off-gridders, urban gardeners, that kind of thing. You want to be right there to manage, right there if you've got workers or people that are volunteering. You can't just tell people to do something. You have to be the overseer. Where are we? I love digging. Yeah, there are many rock hounds. Hey, Chaz, devil on the island and the mainland. I have maps. I bet you do. Hey, I'm using your fishing gear or very early August to late July in Deepwater Bay in Octopus Marine Park, just a little north of it. I'll be using your plugs and stuff. And I was just looking at that. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to make a video and shout you out. But I also have seeds sent to me from Wild Edibles. I'm going to show all the seeds on Earth Day that Wild Edibles sent me. Amazing human being. And that's going to be part of my Earth Day, is to raise awareness about her trying to fix her house a little bit, her and her husband. So yeah. Here we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, very cool, Chaz. And I looked it over. You gave me some lovely gifts. Thank you so much. I look at it recently again, and I was like, that's love, man. That was your family's fishing gear, and so I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much. Bill says, oh, funny story. You can get in big trouble removing pebbles on Pebble Beach in Maine. Signs all around. The stones are rainbow-like and polished. They claim beach erosion due to tourists. If you're worried about something like that, put up a sign that says no trespassing. Right? When I go fishing in my spot, or years ago when I went hunting, I used to put signs up all around where I'm hunting. No hunting, no trespassing, no fishing. I don't want to be disturbed. There's etiquette in sportsmanship. You don't go bother someone that's catching trout or catfish or whatever. You don't walk up to them. They spend a lot of time getting there nice and quiet. And a rain is beautiful because when you walk the deer, they have sensors in their hoof, So I like to go fishing in the rain, and I like to, steelheading in the rain. That's my favorite. And hunting in the rain. It's my favorite. Deer get scared. They don't like to be in a thicket. They'll be out in the field in the rain because then they can see all around for coyotes and cougars, mountain lions, right? Professional killers are after them. So try to learn from the creatures in your environment. Laugh out loud. Good technique out. Chaz. Yeah, Chaz is a good guy. Yeah, thank you for those again. Thank you so much. This man dislikes peat pot. What? This man dislikes peat pots. I love 3-inch deep or deeper salt trays. My peat pots seem to dry 2 times faster. Well, Bill, instead of having the holes on the bottom, have the holes up here in your container, say an inch or 2 inches up, and this will remain moistured. You see? And yeah, my friend's got these clay pots that she puts down in her garden, in her container garden. She fills it up and it soaks out through the clay. Oya pots or something like that. Look it up, and that continuously waters it. But don't have the hole right in the bottom, Bill, because then the water's just going to leave. You want to keep a little bit, especially if you're growing cucumbers and melons and potters, dude. This man dislikes okay. David Kurgov of Vancouver. Okay. Plus, no one wants to rebuy peat pots. I don't advocate the use of peat, but if you do have it, great. But the peat bogs are there for a reason. But if you do it, I mean, that's your business, but I just don't advocate for it. I used to, but until I learned a bunch of things from some very cool organic environmentalist, I guess. Abby here. Good to see y'all. Abby here. Abby here. Abby. What's Abby? I don't see an Abby. Abby here. Okay. Oh, Abbotsford. Abbotsford. I think that's it. Good to see y'all. Yes. Subbed at Make It by Mandy. Okay. Chaz Devlin, I make pots from paper mache. Exactly. You can buy a pot maker from newspaper, okay, or any other better paper, brown paper bag, and make the pot. Then there's, when you have your soil, there's a block maker, soil blocks, and you just plant the soil blocks. The first time I had ever seen it was in the Mayans were doing that in Mexico City. The second time I seen it was dearly departed Charles from Old Alabama Gardener, very good friend of mine. We had a few very good conversations. He amazing guy. I miss him terribly because if I had a question, I could just ask Charles. And I got an answer, man. He answered every single one of his emails, comments. He never missed one. He had over 100,000 people following him. The guy's amazing. His channel's still up. His family kept it up. It's his legacy, yeah. Yeah, Abbotsford, that's what I thought. Howie, I'm talking about the little hockey pucks of peat you soak. Not a fan of them. Well, they're all right if you're using them for cloning, something like that. But they require maintenance. So I'm not a fan either, but I will do whatever it takes. Garden with what you got. And if it works for you, it doesn't necessarily work for other people. Like I only grow a few different vegetables here, knowing full well that other people can't grow them vegetables, but they do other vegetables that I need in quantity, like tomatoes and stuff. Because I'm doing a massive can my own tomatoes. I'm tired of the garbage from the store. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Well, I've been on here a little while, and remember, plant a food forest. Plant a food forest and live free. Find your cave. Get yourself a couple, 3 goats or sheep. Get yourself a few chickens. Find yourself a deep well or a deep spring. Save your seeds. Make soil in layers. It's all going to be out there on April 22nd, 2024. We're going to do some cool stuff. I'm going to be set up outside, and and we're going to visit a few places in my neighborhood where what they're doing. Yep. So blessings to you all. It's great to see you. Love yourself so you can love others. Bye. Thank you all for being here and doing the moderating. Thank God we have had no problems here. So my best to everybody. Always do your best. You'll be greatly rewarded. You'll be blessed well. Okay. Peace and love.